And we're joined now in studio by Amaris Alanis Ribiero. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about the program that you're doing right here in Chicago.
I'm running a nature center in Chicago. It's called North Park Village Nature Center. It's under the Chicago Park District umbrella. And we are running a program called Co-Creating a Climate Migrant Environment. We are thinking about climate change, the urgency of climate change, but also the change in the demographics of the community. We're seeing a lot of more recent immigrants moving into the neighborhoods just a few miles away. So we want to engage the community in having these climate change conversations.
And how are you engaging them? Like, what does that involve?
We're working with science partners. We're working with Thriving Earth Exchange. It's an organization that helps support community science projects. So we have community leaders, we have scientists as partners, the local university and the nature center. All of us, we're starting first by addressing our assumptions about how we view the community, about how we view climate migrants, before we just jump into the community. I think it's this new model for us to be able to understand that the community already has knowledge, less of a model where traditional approaches where scientists come in and maybe they work on mitigation, and now it's more complex than that.
What are some of the long-term goals? What do you hope that this relationship and these partnerships with people and science community will be able to accomplish?
Yeah, I think some of our goals will be for us to kind of uplift this narrative. Climate migrant narratives are missing in science. I think that, a lot of people haven't really, started, talking about that and understanding this complex issue of migration. And so I think we want to uplift that narrative. I think another goal for us is to have scientists feel like they're able to work with the community to be able to co-design their own research, to ask their own questions, community solving, their problems, the community being at the center, and just kind of like more equitable approaches. But ultimately, I think at a larger scale, I think to me it's a bigger shift of how we live in our ecosystems, of how we live with community, how we live with our environment, how we are using ancestral knowledge and making sure that we're better in balance in nature in a reciprocal relationship.
Do you see what you're doing here in Chicago as being a model for other communities and not just in the United States but perhaps globally?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's especially because we're working with a global climate migrant environment, and I do think that we can be a model. I think some people are beginning to kind of like think about how they engage with community, and the demographics are changing faster than we as scientists are able to catch up with that. So I do hope for us to be a model, to be able to share and disseminate, again, with the community's permission, whether they choose to share and disseminate, their stories, their narratives, whatever types of new models of research and co-designing work that we do with the community. I think that would be something that we would love for others to learn about.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.